Mark and I practiced wheelies today, and in less than 30 minutes, he went from this foot to this. Stay tuned and find out how we got there. All right, guys, it's me, Rich Larson, the IRC Tire Guy, and I'm here with Marc Ikeda again. This guy, if you remember, we have done an episode on Mark where he took a private lesson from me on his full-size YZ250. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. But today, he's got his KLX 110 here, and I thought, Mark, can you wheelie that thing? And he said, no. So I said, let's figure it out. So we've got pavement, which is the best place to learn a wheelie because, you know, you wheelie over and you learn real quick that you don't want to do that again. So, you know, that's the first thing. And we've got a small bike. Now, a small bike is a good thing to learn a wheelie on because it's a little bit easier to maneuver and play with. And a lot of guys think that the balance point is actually smaller on a small bike, but actually it's bigger because, of course, you have your own weight to counteract what the machine is doing, and it makes it a little bit safer to learn how to do a wheelie. So I'm gonna go through all the steps, and hopefully we're gonna get Mark to learn how to wheelie today. So starting with this, I wanna show Mark where the balance point is. This is something I like to do on every bike. Thank you, Mark. We've got this sweet, sweet ride here. This is this how it goes? I've never even really ridden one of these. But if you notice here, I'm gonna find the balance point on this machine. Now, we get it up and look at that. It's already wanting to roll back. Look at how far the balance point is back. Now that is a good sign. The further back the balance point is, that means the further back you can have your body on the machine while you're wheeling. The further back you have your body, the more leverage you have over your machine. You can see as soon as I start to even tip that front tire down, the front end comes down. This makes it safer. I mean, you have to see how far I have to go back to actually wheelie over. Further than this, right? So this makes it actually safer to learn how to wheelie. This is a solid thing to check on any bike. Learn where the balance point is. Get comfortable with that balance point. So that's gonna be step one. Mark, get on and do that exact same thing. What I would say is use your front brake, throw a little compression and rebound in with your body, right? So you throw your body forward, get that compression rebound. At that same time of the rebound, give it a little throttle and pull back on those handlebars. The bike should come right up, okay? He just stares at me a lot. He doesn't do what I tell him. And this is the sign of a horrible student, right? I can't work like this. Go, do it. Nicely done. So notice, see how he's almost fighting it? That means he's not even to that balance point. This should make you feel better. It probably doesn't, but it should make you feel better, okay? One more time, fire it up. Let's get that thing into the balance point. We might be kind of flooding it a little bit, but these things are tough. You can do whatever you want with them. Hammer down. Good job. There we go. So now we found the balance point. That is all the way back, okay? So straight up and down, we're 12 o'clock boys right now, okay? You are gonna be nowhere near 12 o'clock when you're wheeling, okay? So that's step one. Go ahead and set it down and we'll move on to step two. Okay, so now you've understood the balance point, kind of. You gotta get comfortable with that. Just understanding how much throttle you need to get that front end into the air, because that's going to be the next step. Now, before we get that straight up into the air, I want you to practice using your rear brake. Your rear brake's here for your help, right? It's your best friend, especially when you're doing slow wheelies, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put it in first gear and we're gonna use our rear brake. We're gonna pop the front end up in the air and then we're gonna dab our rear brake and just get comfortable with it, okay? Even getting comfortable with starting a wheelie with your foot on the brake, right? I'm very used to starting everything I do on a motorcycle. I'm on the balls of my feet, right? I'm on my toes. But when I'm doing a slow wheelie, I'll actually just put my foot on the rear brake before my front end is even in the air, right? So just getting comfortable with that move and position with your foot, having it there, and then getting the front end up is very important, right? A lot of little intricacies that go into everything that you do on a motorcycle. So I'm gonna show you. Let me get on this thing and do a couple little wheelies. How do I look? Do I look good? My foot's already on the brake, right? And what we want to do is get a little compression again with the front brake. Okay? Nice and easy. Get used to that, okay? Add in the rear brake. We got front brake, a little compression, rebound, and throttle. Rear brake. Just like that. We want to get comfortable with that. Very gentle snap of the throttle. One more time. Use your rear brake just to get comfortable, just so you know it's there, right? One more time. Same thing. Compression. Using that rear brake. And once you get better at this, you'll find the further back you are, the easier it is. Because again, you're moving your weight back and you're counteracting what your machine is doing. You're widening out the balance point. The further your weight is back, the further your balance is, the more well-rounded your balance is, right? You're counteracting what the machine is doing. And that's what the goal is here, okay? So one more time, I'm gonna show you, Mark. Nice and mellow, a little bit of grab on the front brake and a snap of the throttle. Use that rear brake to put it back down, okay? Start low, we're gonna work our way up. Sound good? You're a bad student. Do things that I force you to do. Get comfortable, remember, nice, good snap, good stab of the throttle. Really mellow, let off, use that, cover that rear brake, okay? Smaller's better at first. Figure it out. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, real quick. Come right here. Now, if you noticed, if you were watching the video, you noticed that every time you wheelie, you go like this. You're bringing your head forward, which is, he's just like, no, I wasn't. So you bringing your head forward, obviously, is because you're a little bit nervous about where it's going. Yes. Really, what your focus is on a wheelie is a stationary body. Whether you're riding high speed, low speed, motocross, pit bike, whatever it is, the stationary body, right, attack position, that happens even when we're seated. My body stays where I'm at. I'm not throwing my head forward to kind of counteract the wheelie, and that's a huge thing. So try and keep that weight back. There we go, nice straight. If you notice when I'm wheeling, I'm back. I'm using my upper body to kind of hold that weight and find that balance point, okay? So focus on that, keep your head back, keep going. A lot of eye contact from Mark, and it's a lot of disappointed eye contact, so. Not bad at all. We're getting there. Not bad. See where our arms are coming like this, right? Yeah. See where his arms go every time? It's a hard habit to get over. It's all right. Keep going. You're doing awesome. There we go. Whenever he doesn't do a good one, he like does a crappy one and then he goes. He just peers over. Okay, nice job.
What's the next step?
All right, good job. You're doing great. So, this is what I would say. Now that you've been kind of getting comfortable with that, now we have to, this is every time, no, I'm not comfortable. So every time that you've been doing that, again, we're kind of bending towards it. That's the next step to kind of get used to coming back. Now, one thing we can always do, and this is something that I think is the most important, is I'm gonna go, you watch me, kind of watch my body, watch what I look like, and then we're gonna go back to the video. We're gonna compare what you see when I'm doing it, and then we're gonna watch the video and see what you're doing, okay? It's a really good way to just kind of see and understand. Mark's, Rob's making fun of my hand movements. It is what it is, right? I'm never gonna stop moving my hands. This is the way I am. I'm never gonna stop, okay? So unsubscribe if you don't like it. So, watch me, okay? Watch my body, try and, you know, it's all about emulation. That's all I've ever done, is just copy guys who are better than me. Focused up here, nice and smooth, find my center. Do you see where my hands are, Mark? See how my arms are kind of not, I'm not moving forward. I'm kind of, and I'm going like this. I'm moving back and forth. See that? And the reason why my body stays back like that is that means the further forward I am, the higher I have to get my front tire. The further forward I go, the higher my front tire has to go, right? Because my body's here, that's tightening the balance point. The further back I go, the more I can counteract what the front end is doing, right? This is rule one with any wheelie, okay? You're using your body to fight the balance point of the bike. Again, we saw the balance point is straight up and down. But why am I wheeling in a balance point with the front tire at, a 45-degree angle? Because my weight is what's counteracting it. So when you come forward, that actually causes you to have to get the front tire higher, which is not fun, right? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. One more time. Into the wind for some reason. It doesn't matter what bike it is, right? It's just an understanding of what's happening, right? Understanding of throttle, understanding of power, understanding of balance, where and what's happening on a bike, and how I use my body to counteract what's happening. That's all we're ever doing, okay? So let's watch a video, and then we'll continue forward. After reviewing the video, we noticed that Mark is, again, as I was saying, bringing that bike up to his chest. And once again, what's happening is that makes him have to wheelie higher to find the balance point. You're using your body to counteract what your machine is doing. That's all you're ever doing on a motorcycle. Whether you're riding a pit bike or you're riding hard enduro, that's what you're doing. Now, the comfort point on this bike is going to be, 2 feet off the ground with the front tire, your weight way back here, counteracting and finding that balance point, right? So we even want to move a little further back on the seat, keep our weight back. The biggest thing that I see guys do, and again, it doesn't matter if it's in hard enduro, enduro cross, on a motocross track, or on a pit bike, is they don't want to do the thing that's counterintuitive. Again, you feel like if my weight's all the way back, I'm gonna fall on my butt. It's kind of true. You will fall on your butt, but you're actually making it so you're less likely to. Because your weight is further back, the front tire doesn't need to be as high, right? So counterintuitive stuff is the thing that a lot of guys run into. And that's the problem with any technique that we talk about is, I've actually made up a word for it. It's called counterintuitivity. Counterintuitivity. And it's your ability to understand when something's counterintuitive and how to do the opposite thing, right? It's like being intuitive, right? You're like, oh, intuitive, counterintuitive, yeah, mix them together. It's a whole thing. I'll make up words. I'll make up words all day. Get on the bike, do the thing. I would be bringing my, again, the further back you are, the lower your front tire actually needs to be. So I would be bringing that butt right onto the edge of the seat.
That I can feel.
Yeah, I would be feeling, because I'm sitting on the rear fender when I'm wheeling, right?
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm close to it.
Really?
I mean, I'm not going to rip it
you're
off.
feeling
But
with the butt,
yeah, I can feel the edge of the seat.
Right here?
Yeah, and then again, this is where we are.
Right.
And you keep it there.
It lifts.
It lifts,
Okay.
then your ability to counteract what the machine is doing. I know it feels weird, right? It's counterintuitive, but that's what we're going to go for, okay? Hammer down. Yeah, you can feel you did that wrong. I don't even need to tell you. See, as soon as he gets scared. He did it one time good and it frightened him. And that's okay. Okay, so that's all good.
No, I'm sorry. The first one?
Yeah, it scared you.
Yes.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know. Yeah, you do one good one and you realize.
It was
See,
more than I expected.
yeah,
So,
and you know the biggest thing is something you need to understand is the balance point feels weird.
it does.
Feels like you're floating. Feels like you're
Yeah.
flying through the air. It's a weird feeling, and it takes getting used to. Now, I'm gonna try to do one more thing. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm kind of making this up as I go. Get off. How do you turn this thing on?
Put in a neutral.
It's neutral. No, neutral. Okay. Notice where I am. Way far back, right? Same thing. Okay, so what I'm thinking, we're gonna try this planted. We got 1 foot off. Still got a rear brake here. This is what we're gonna go for, okay? We're here. Notice, I'm not doing this, right? I'm back. We can use that rear brake to help us, okay? How do you turn this thing on? My foot's on the rear brake. Notice how I keep my foot on the rear brake when I'm, you know, getting compression and rebound, right? Helps. This allows me to kind of learn where the balance point is on this thing. And it's honestly easier to do this because, of course, you have your foot. You can always just kind of jump off if you're scared. Now we're learning. Right? I'm still learning on this bike. I'm still trying to find it. One foot down, I mean, it is like training wheels. Right? Okay, let's give that a shot. So, we're gonna use 1 foot down. We're gonna keep our foot on the rear brake, sit down, feel that seat, nice. Keep that, that brake compressed, okay? Same exact way you get that front end in the air, okay? Try to get that thing up high. Just like when we were doing it off the bike, getting it straight up into the air, same exact thing. That's what, my goal is for you to go too far back and have to jump off, okay? That's the goal, go ahead. Yeah, see, we're finding here that you're not quite committed to going back, right? You're more committed to stepping off, right? You don't have this, okay? Focus on, think, rear brake the whole time. Rear brake. Go again, get that thing straight up. This is all commitment. This is just like committing on the YZ. There you go, that's better. That's better. All the way back, I wanna see it all the way. Break that rear fender off. How do you turn this thing on? More commitment. I want more. I want all the commitment you have. She needs to clear out a little. Everything you got, all of it. There you go. Now we're talking. Okay, beautiful. Let's do it again. This time, focus on the rear brake. Same exact amount of commitment, but think rear brake, okay? Not bad. Okay, good job. Now, if you noticed there, we were almost to the balance point. Almost there. A lot of times what happens is you're kind of chasing it, right? You're kind of doing a chaser where it's not quite to the balance point, so you're trying to give it a little more to get to that balance point, right? A lot of especially when you're first learning, you haven't learned left to right yet. So you fell to the right, your foot comes off, right? Because you don't have your rear brake. So the quicker we get that thing straight up into the air, the easier it's gonna be on you. Because then you're not chasing it, okay? Go ahead. That's better, it's getting better. Not bad. Come right here and do this. Same spot. Okay, ready?
Oh.
I want you to hit the front fender on my hand. There you go. Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now we're learning. Uh-oh. Mark's gonna be doing circle wheelies in about 5 seconds here. Okay, so now, same thing. Brake, think, brake, okay? You got this.
So when it, what? So when I
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and then drop it down.
No. I mean, yeah, sure,
or what?
sure.
Like
I just want
going?
you to be used to using the rear brake, but if you can, you know, start feeling out a wheelie. You know, your goal here is to be able to, what I'm doing while I'm wheeling is I'm going in between brake, gap, brake throttle, right? I'm dancing back and forth between the two, also with, you know, of course, body position and everything. A good way to learn how to do that is obviously doing these circle wheelies because you have a little bit of a safety thing with your left foot, right? This way you can learn. Just like when I was doing it, I was talking, I'm going, see, I'm kind of learning where the balance point is. Where does this bike like to be, right? That's what I'm trying to get you to do, okay? So the goal, obviously, is to keep it going, but also I want you to be comfortable with your rear brake, and I'm noticing every time that foot comes off. So first maybe up, put it back down, but get it up, you know what I'm saying? It's better, looking really good. Keep your lean a little further out. In fact, I would bring your foot out here a little more.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You almost don't even need the point anymore. You almost don't even need this. There you go, there you go, there you go. See that? Now you're feeling the balance point. We're making progress, bro. Oh, you're gonna be circle wheeling in no time. Okay, come on, let's go. I love it. I'm so happy right now. This is great. Same thing. Every time Marc starts to go, right, he is with his left foot, that foot that's supposed to be there for comfort, right? A lot of guys rely on that when they're learning this. And you're relying on it, and that's why you're doing this, right? It's not very efficient. If you notice when I'm doing it, my foot's kind of like dragging on the ground, right? Light on that foot. This is where your weight needs to be, on your right foot. See, when you're riding, whatever foot is on the peg, doesn't matter if you're on a pit bike or you're riding hard enduro, that's the foot that has the weight of your body. That's how your bike is efficient. Because when your feet are on the ground, your feet are on the ground. Your bike's going somewhere. Your feet aren't, right? That's the point. That foot is there for balance, nothing more, okay? Balance, nothing more. So try and keep that light, push a little harder with that right foot, try and drag that left foot. I know I'm adding steps, right? There's a lot that happens, a lot of intricacies, right? It is what it is. You're gonna get it though. I'm stoked on how good we're doing. See that? As soon as you can hear it, as soon as his foot plants on the ground, it kicks him the other way. When you're wheeling, you're walking a tightrope from left to right and back and forth. This is all axis of balance, right? So Marc has to focus on being very light with that left foot and finding almost a drag the whole way through. It's a challenge. He's getting it though. Yep, right there. That's the stuff. There we go, see that? And now, you noticed it wasn't as high up and you were still balancing, right? Now we're talking. Foot! See, that should have been foot. You have the ability to put the front end down. All right. All right, guys, so we came a long way in a very short amount of time. Now, of course, you have to put in the time on this stuff. You have to constantly continue to practice this stuff so you can master it, and then you can get on any bike and do it. That's the goal, right? Of course, this is going to be something that transfers into the big bike a little bit. This is a great way to get comfortable with your wheelies, and Marc did an awesome job in progressing and trying to get to a point where he hasn't mastered. In literally, it was like an hour. We've been goofing around in a parking lot before Endurocross starts. We have a little time, let's learn how to wheelie. He's never done it, and he started from getting the bike 1 foot off the ground to actually being able to get a decent wheelie, get a little circle wheelie going, getting comfortable with that balance point, and that's huge. So, I'm psyched about it. Marc's psyched about it. He's frustrated. He wants to keep hammering, and that is the biggest thing. You've got to know that you can do it. You've got to know that you have to put in the time and keep hammering, keep moving forward, and honestly, just keep shredding. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.